Shalom, Kahalayu, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Hawakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the backyard, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. As always, it's an honor and privilege to continue to do this work. It's from ABC30.com. It says, police, man turned away from Texas bar shoots, wounds 8. As you see the video being played in the background, I'm going to read the news article. It says a man who was turned away from a bar in San Antonio shot and wounded at least 8 people in the parking lot late Friday, police said. Police were searching for the gunman who fled the scene Friday night. San Antonio Police Chief William McManus said, said at a briefing early Saturday. The gunman was part of a small group that left a bar in northern San Antonio and walked across the street to Rebar, a large night spot that often has live music and DJ performances. The group was turned away at the door because they were inebriated, McManus said. One of the members of the group responded by saying, "Don't you know who I am? I'm a UFC fighter from California," the police chief said. That man didn't...
Don't you know who I am? I'm a UFC fighter from California. And they walked away. Well, he walked back to his car, pulled out a long rifle, and walked back across the street, and he opened fire. He hit 8 individuals. None of them are deceased. They're all in stable condition. The most serious one was someone who was hit in the back. There was 5 females, 3 males, ages 23 to 41. All transported themselves to local hospitals, and that's kind of where we are. We're still looking for the shooter.
Are you guys looking at surveillance video to try to identify him?
Yeah, if there's surveillance video available, we will look at it. Victims are canvassing the area right now for any video that might be available. But again, to recap, individuals walked from the bar here to a bar across the street. They refused admittance. They came back to the car, pulled out a long rifle, walked back across the street, shot 8 individuals in the parking lot, 5 females, 3 males, ages 23 to 41. All right now, we understand are stable. The most critical was someone who was shot in the back. There were, I believe, 2 people who were grazed and did not accept any kind of treatment. They're not transported, they just went on their way.
So what you're seeing right now is like people are like, the spirits out here are very turned up, man. You know? And with spirits being turned up, it's not wise to even mix alcohol, which are more spirits, into a spirit that's already turned up. And it's not wise to even be at these bars, man, or be at these clubs, especially considering the times that we live in. You know, you got to consider the times. You know, just like it's high time to wake out of sleep, these are perilous times that we're in. This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, which that word perilous means dangerous, you know. And when we go into books like Tobit, you know, it instructs us that, you know, we're not really supposed to be drinking and driving like that, because that's one of the main things that Esau is looking for, man. You know, and that's one of the main things that traffic accidents is behind someone being inebriated or off of some type of narcotic, you know. This is Tobit chapter 4, verse 15. It says, "Do that to no man which thou hatest. Drink not wine to make thee drunken." So we're not supposed to drink wine to make us drunk, man, to make us inebriated to the point where we just black out, you know. That's what these people of the world do, you know, and by them blacking out, they do certain actions, as you saw in this video. You know, they get turned away from a bar because the bars don't want to be held liable, you know, if they crash or kill someone. You know, so they do a cutoff, or they'll just turn you away because they already sense, and they're already they train them to sense if you had too much to drink, man. You know, and this guy probably blacked out and got his rifle and started shooting people. It says, "Neither let drunkenness go with thee in thy journey." You know, so the scriptures even inform us we really should be drinking while we're traveling, man. You know, let me see. I think it's right. Yeah, this is Sirach chapter 31, verse 30. It says, "Drunkenness increaseth the rage of a fool till he offend." You know, so when you're drunk, you increaseth the rage, and it increases the rage of a fool till he offend, man. So this guy got enraged. You know, he couldn't go into the Pacific nightclub. You know, so therefore this individual uh, went to go get a long rifle and shoot some of the patrons that were inside of the nightclub. You know, because he was offended, and therefore he is being hunted down by law enforcement to pay for his actions, man, to account for his actions. It says it diminishes strength and maketh wounds, you know, and that's one of the things that brothers too, they gotta watch out. You gotta watch out with that alcohol, man. You know, you gotta practice. Sometimes you might have to practice abstinence, man. You know, if you can't rule your spirit to the point where you just are in a state of moderation, you know. Um, because we're living in dangerous times, man, where it's not good to be out there riding, you know, being out in these clubs, being out in these bars, you know, calling yourself having a good time after the so-called lockdown or the quarantine. You know, we're not in those times, man. We're in those times to be circumspect. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, I want to read this one. This is Tobit chapter 4, verse 14. It says, "Let not the wages of any man which have wrought for thee tarry with thee, but give him it out of hand. For if thou serve the Most High, he will also repay thee." Point is be circumspect, my son, in all things thou doest. So we're in the times where you really got to be circumspect, man. You really got to weigh things in the balance, man, and make sure it's not done in wickedness, because a false move can have you out there, man, have you finished. You know, it's easy in these times, man, because you see it going on now. You see even Esau, he's turned up. He's seeking whom he may devour as far as his law enforcement. They're killing Jakes left and right, you know, and they're not thinking no way about it, man. You know, it says, "And be wise in all thy conversation." Yeah, because the tongue is a unruly member, man. You know, I believe it talks about that in James. Let me see if I can find it. And this is I'm going to start at verse 5. This is James chapter 3, verse 5. It says, even so the tongue is a little member and boasts of great things. Yeah, you see in a lot of these videos that are posted on the internet, a lot of people are killed because of what they say, man. Especially when they boast and brag when they're on live or IG or things of that nature. You know, you see a lot of them are put to death because of what comes out of their mouth, man. You know, and what makes it even worse is when you add certain things like alcohol and different drugs, man. It says, behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth, which that word kindle means to start. It says, and the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. For every kind of beast, and of birds, and of serpents, and of things in the sea is tamed, and have been tamed of mankind, but the tongue can no man tame. It is unruly evil, full of deadly poison. Yeah, so what comes out of your mouth can and will be held against you. You know, whether it's in the court of law or whether it's in the law of the streets, man. The law in this world, man. You know, on in carnality. You know, so you got to watch what you say. You got to watch your actions. You know, you got to watch your intake. You know, sometimes you got to be circumspect and use discretion and realize the times that you're living in. And it's not the time to be going to these bars, going to these clubs, or anything of that nature. Because, hey, it's about to be killing season to the extreme, man, especially considering that we're entering in the summer solstice, man. You know, where people are a little bit more edgy, they're a little bit more agitated, you know, and they're more so triggered, man, to do things that could potentially lead to theirs or someone else's death, man. You know, so with that, hope at least one brother elect was edified. This is Isaac Mawath, and I'm going to say shalom.